Welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
We have our new caravan.
Yep, and it's time for a shakedown trip.
So we will take you along for the drive.
Yeah.
Come with us.
Come with us. Well, thankfully we've ditched Melbourne.
Melbourne traffic. Yeah, so we picked the van up in Melbourne, obviously.
Yep. Driven 3 hours east.
So we've out of all the tolls and the crazy traffic. Oh, we're at a little free camp.
Near Sale.
Very Avon River.
Something, I don't know.
It's on the Avon River. We'll put it in the captions for you. Nice little spot, we'll show you around. This is our little spot at the end of the road. The road's quite long. There are lots of spaces with lots of room in between. So we've got all this grassy area here where no one camps here. And then there's another campsite up a little bit further. And probably 1 kilometre maybe the road goes. I'll show you further up the road. Now, as you first drive into the campsite, there's lots of these sites here that even have their own little pontoon, which is perfect for fishing. When we arrived, actually, all of the pontoons were taken up with day-use fishermen. But this is the popular end up here for the pontoons. This camp is actually not far from the RAF base. So we've been treated to flyovers every afternoon. 4 and 5 in formation. Glenn's been in his element. We just saw the sign to the Air Force turn off and thought, oh, we'll go down that road. We didn't know these displays were here, so that's a nice bonus for Glenn. As you know, he's really into his military stuff. We've left our caravan and come for a day trip. So our campground is somewhere here. Yeah, we're here in between Stratford and I don't know where, near Stratford. So we've come up into the mountains here and we've come to Dargo for a day trip. We're going to go to the pub and just explore this nice little town. There is a campground here behind the Dargo pub. On the river there, you can see the bridge over there on the right. A few rules, and then there's camping down that way a little bit further.
Bit of a club run going to the Dargo Hotel. Some Porsches. A bit further up we go. An MX-5 and a Lotus Elise.
Across the road from the pub, we've got the Dargo store. You can get fuel here.
I'm just looking at the old photos here of Dargo, the township.
Grocery surprise, grog. They've got some stuffed cats and dogs. Groceries. And back across the road to the pub. I think it's going to be busy in there. So we are inside the Dargo Hotel. Lots of people outside, but nobody inside. Shirts on the ceiling. Jim Beam cars on the ceiling. Train of Jim Beam cars.
Yeah.
So we had a yummy lunch at the pub. It was quite nice inside. There were lots of people outside, but not many eating inside. Now we've come for a drive, probably about 10 k's north of the pub, along the upper Dargo Road to where all the free camp spots are. So there is a charge to camp behind the hotel, where this campground is free, and there's some further up the road as well. Fire pits and toilets, shelters, and the running river that you can hear there. behind me. It's a very pretty spot. I did say that I don't know if I would bring the caravan here, but you know, it is so pretty. I think I could get Glenn to bring the caravan up here. I think he could be swayed. This campground's just a few kilometres further up from the last one. Not quite as pretty, but there's a lot more people here. So this river used to be a gold mining place. So they're actually still finding gold in the river. So that might be why there's more people camped in this area. Maybe they're finding gold here. What's this one called? Italian Flat. There's big shafts they've got roped off. Maybe they're old gold mines. We've moved on from the Avon River camping near Stratford, and we've come down to Nintey Mile Beach. There's lots of campgrounds along the road, along the beach. I think there's about 19 in total. So that's the walkway to the beach behind the fire pit. And then we've got this spot just here, site number 8. So this is walking into number 8. Each campsite can hold a couple of vehicles probably. It is quite sandy though. This area up here would hold a little small motorhome or camper trailer. And when we go around the corner, there is a long drop toilet in there. Not terribly clean, but it's got a long drop toilet. A very sandy area here. And then we're parked just here.
Looks like the helicopter's on an exercise to retrieve people in rough weather. So it's a bit choppy out there.
So this is the back of our campsite, walking down towards the beach. And if we walk a kilometre up the beach, there is a shipwreck site for us to explore.
Shipwreck.
We actually gave up on the beach walk. High tide and the wind is blowing a gale down there. So we've gone back and got the car and driven to the shipwreck's car park. And that was a nice easy walk through the dunes, and there it is, even at nearly high tide. So the ship was travelling from Albany to Newcastle. Oh, I'm in his photo. Well, the ship's going under, Glenn. We're going home?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a bit windy.
Yep. Oh, that was windy.
So glad we went back and got the car. I wouldn't have fancied a kilometre walk with that wind blowing against us.
And what I know about shipwreck is it was shipwrecked in 1897 on its way from Albany to Newcastle to get some coal.
Coal ship.
Yeah, coal ship.
Didn't get there.
Didn't get there.
So we're hooking up. We're just hooking up, ready to leave this campsite at Nintey Mile Beach. Well, we forgot to show you how unlevel the ground was when we arrived. And And the airbags made it so easy to level up in seconds. So we've got to get it back to normal again now. So we'll show you how that was done. There's a remote control somewhere. Have we got it? It's in the car. Okay, we're getting used to this. Right, I'll have another go. I'll get to the front where you can see how it changes. So the side that Glenn is on had to come down a fair way. So now it's going up. Going up, going up. Because you should never drive with no air in the airbags. So we'd let it out of that side to get level. So there you go. Now we're not level, but we're level on the site, but we're level for the road. Our next camp that we've moved on to is Yarram. It's a caravan park. Now, we need to also go to caravan park to check that our 240s are working in our shakedown trip. So even though we don't normally stay in a park, the main reason that I chose this caravan park is location for the national park, but also for this heated pool and spa. But sadly, the spa is not working. But anyway, we're going to have a little dip in the heated pool. Can you walk straight in, Glenn?
Yeah.
After 2 o'clock, and we're both getting a bit hangry. So what time is it, Glenn?
It's my time.
Well, we were going to look for a park, but it was quicker to come back to the caravan. We're both starving.
Starving.
So,
Should have got 2 pies.
oh, that's a bit greedy. Righto. So, give us a bite quickly so I can eat mine. Give me a rating. Pastry looks nice.
Nice fluffy pastry.
Fluffy pastry.
Steak, bacon and cheese.
That's your second favourite.
Thanks everybody that bought me a pie.
The town of Yarram in Victoria has got an art trail. Quite a lot of artworks in the town. This one is the water tank art. Most of them are painted by Hisco. Recently, this one was 2023. Campground at Yarram, we've come for a drive, very pretty drive, through the rainforest, very narrow, winding road. We're heading to the Tarra, well, we're in the Tarra Bulga National Park, but it's quite a few kilometres to get up the top to the visitor centre. And I better add, we're not towing the caravan too. Oncoming traffic is a bit hairy on this road. So we've got to the top of the windy road to the visitor centre, and oh my gosh, it's cold. Dropped several degrees. So the visitor centre is closed.
Live bird on the 29th of the night.
Are these
The
spottings
start
you're
of the
reading?
live bird track.
Shortage of volunteers for the national parks to have the visitor centre open. So we're going to take a walk through the rainforest. There is a beautiful suspension bridge down this track.
It's a 75 metre tall mountain ash, this one.
You can't give that one a hug. Your arms aren't big enough.
No.
Can I give it a hug? A backwards hug?
Right. Is that a reach around or not?
All right, here we go. Hope it doesn't wobble too much. Wobble, wobble, wobble. Ah, it's quite secure. Overlooks the ferns. Let's turn around and see if I can see Glenn. There he is. So from the top of the bridge, you look down over all these massive ferns. So we're going to do the lyrebird ridge track now.
Yeah, hopefully we might see one. Last time was spotted about a month ago.
On this track?
On this track, yeah.
Yep. So we'll have our eyes peeled.
Mm.
This track isn't quite as pretty as the other one. This is the lyrebird track with all the dead branches and fallen bushes and stuff. But maybe that's what the lyrebirds like to scratch around in. Glenn thinks he's seen one. I'm not allowed to move.
Just missed a lyrebird. It's like a fisherman going fishing. The big one got away.
But you did see him.
I did see him. He
just missed him on the camera.
Yeah. He ran across, jumped over a log and kept it going.
The trouble is with lyrebirds.
Yes.
Is that you can't listen for their sound.
They make all different kind of calls.
They're imitators.
Mm. So, yeah, last time I saw one, I thought it was R2-D2 in the forest. He was going off. But this time it was just a lot of calls all of a sudden.
That
of
sounded
all different birds.
Which you thought, no, that's not right.
Yeah.
It's got to be one.
I've got a very hungry crimson rosella here.
He's trying.
He's sussing out everything.
Oh.
No. Yes. What? No. It's a bit naughty. That's a bit naughty. Mm.
Do you think they're used to people? Mm. On our way back down now, and there's a turn off or a little parking area to take you to Tarra Falls. And not much of a walk, a few stairs and you're here. You got a duck for that one, Glenn?
Yeah.
I wonder if I have to duck. I'm a shorty. Here we go. Oh, I didn't even have to duck. A little bit further down the road and we've stopped at a picnic area on the river. Thought I might have myself a cup of tea. Well, Glenn puts the drone up. Well, we've been at the Yarram Caravan Park. Turns out it's Cup weekend and we couldn't stay any longer, so we had to leave. But that didn't turn out a bad thing because there's this free camp we found just down the road. Victorians have a long weekend, though Tuesday's a public holiday, but a lot of them take the Monday, some even take the Friday, obviously. So everywhere is booked out. So we're actually glad we've found this nice little free camp. We've come down to Port Albert from Yarram and it's freezing.
It's a bit cool and windy.
In the wind.
Yeah.
So Port Albert is the oldest port in the
Victoria?
Gippsland.
Oh, the Gippsland, yeah.
I think it was the Gippsland. There's a museum here, which we have seen before. Nice little town. I've just been sitting here with the seagulls while Glenn's been wandering around because it's a bit cold, as you can see.
Yeah.
So now we've driven a little bit further around the coast to Port Welshpool. There is a very long jetty that we're going to explore. The original long jetty was built in 1859 to export cattle to Tasmania. They ended up using it for the fish markets, where they had a tram along the length of the jetty and horse-drawn cart. So the original jetty was deteriorated and ended up burning down in 2010. So with government funding and a lot of years, it was reopened again in December 2018. We're on our way to Walhalla in Victoria. Walhalla's been on our radar for quite some time after seeing the ABC Backroads show. Nice little gold mining historic town. We couldn't find any accommodation. There's no campgrounds available up this way because it's the long weekend. Victorians have all gone away. So we've had to stay down in the town of Moe, which is not a tourist town, so we didn't have any trouble finding accommodation there. But yeah, it's only about an hour's drive, so we'll show you when we get to Walhalla what it's all about. So as you first drive into town, you get to the day visitor area with a map here of what to see. The day visitor area, that building here, was built to replicate the old tennis club that was on this site back in the day. Now, Walhalla is built on the side of a hill, which makes it very interesting. So this is the track to the cemetery. So this is, I don't know if they've done that anywhere else in the country, but the cemetery is on the side of a hill. It's pretty steep to get up here. I don't know if I'd like to be carrying a body.
No.
Maybe they put the bodies on a horse and cart to get them up there. Oh, we made it. Have a look at that. They go all the way down the hill. They just have to build like retaining walls to keep them in. Just so bizarre walking around, being below the level of the graves. It continues for quite a way, sideways, and down it goes. The drive through town is very pretty. There's creekside houses which are on the only flat land in town. So if you get a spot along the creek in the day, it was flat land, and then everyone else had to go on the side of the hill. There's a lot of traffic, lots of people here because it is a long weekend. But it's also good because it means that everything's open. So it's our turn for a drive on the old historic rail. Choo choo.
They started it in 1900.
Well, tell me a little bit about the Walhalla Railway. We just went on the gold.
Well, it was first proposed in 1883.
I just wondered if it was used for carting gold, though.
It was used for
But it wasn't.
Freight.
Yeah, they say freight.
Freight and people.
And people, passenger train.
Yep, and flies probably.
From Maui?
Yeah.
Flies from Maui.
From Maui.
People from Maui.
Well, yeah, the Maui to Walhalla line started in 1904 construction, and
by 1910?
Officially opened in 1910. Yep.
And then by 1914 it was finished.
Yes, the mines were finished in 1914.
And then in the war...
It was money well spent.
In the war...
The
army wanted to blow it up, get rid of it.
They wanted to blow up the rail.
I thought that was interesting.
Which was good.
So it was safe from being blown up. And it's been restored.
1994 they started and reopened it in 2002.
There you go. So we're about to do the gold mine tour. But interesting to see there's signs there that dogs are welcome on this tour. And we have to wear a hairnet underneath our hard hat. It's a very pretty look. This is the entrance to the mine when it was working back in 1885. And here's our entrance today on the tour. Long Tunnel Extended Gold Mine Tour.
So we're now about 115 metres into the hillside. It's taken us around 2 minutes to walk. It actually took the Hercules Mining Company 2 years just to get to this point. Oh, wow. So very, very slow going. None of the machinery that they've got today, no electrical lighting, none of the explosives or anything like that. So that simple method was called a hammer and a tap. Tap is almost like a star-pointed screwdriver. Nice long metal bar. One man would have been holding on to that. Another man comes along with his nice big hammer. He has to hit that tap, and the other man turn. Hit, turn, hit, and turn. Hitting and turning it ever so slowly, crushing that rock inside that hole. This is known as Cohen's Reef. As I said, it goes for about 3 to 4 kilometres all the way through our mountain, goes all the way to the surface, and then at a 70-degree angle all the way back into this hillside. It's actually one of the biggest quartz reefs in Victoria. Just amazing.
So we've had a busy day here in Walhalla. So now that the mine tour's over, we're just going to take a little walk around town. Built in 1895 with an award-winning design that won £3.3 for their design. And the building of the rotunda was finished in 1896. And then it became the venue of many events over the years, including concerts, poetry readings, lectures and weddings. So this fireplace here and the stone wall to the right of it is all that's remaining of Walhalla's only 3-storey hotel, which was the Junction Hotel. In that old photo there you can see this retaining wall. Walhalla Fire Station is known as the most unusual fire station in the state, with the fire station outhouse there in the background. But yeah, it's built over the creek. We've moved on to our next campsite, which is Glen Cromie Reserve. So it is a bush camp about an hour or so from Melbourne. Although it is like a caravan park, so everyone's got their sights set out. Now, this is Melbourne Cup Day morning of the long weekend, so it's clearing out. It was packed in here yesterday, which we weren't expecting for a bush camp. But it is still a nice place to stay. They had entertainment last night. So we were lucky enough to get a site right on the water. So we backed down here onto the little creek, which is clear water. In summer you could swim there. So our spot's a nice little spot. So in Noojee there's a place called the Tool Shed. So we've stopped in for some lunch. Glenn managed to find his favourite type of pie, cottage pie, and I had some lovely arancini balls. This is a short walk out of Noojee to the Dargo Falls, which are also known as the Noojee Falls. Very busy today, again being that Victorian long weekend, lots of people. We've walked for a little while and now we can hear another waterfall.
I think I can hear a waterfall. I can hear a waterfall.
Yes, now that's a waterfall. So Noojee Heritage Centre, Timbertown. The town of Noojee had 7 massive trestle bridges in its day for all the trains. This is the only remaining trestle bridge. Bridge number 7. Restored in the 80s. Magnificent structure, isn't it? But it wasn't the largest of the 7. Bridge number 2 was actually the highest in the southern hemisphere, followed by bridge number 4. So this bridge number 7 didn't even get a mention. Pretty massive today, but 2 and 4 were bigger. Well, that's a wrap for our shakedown trip with the new caravan.
Yep, trying to figure out how everything works.
Technology's come a long way since our van's 6 years old, the other one. So we've not had anything major, just a few minor tweaks. That's probably just to be expected.
Yep.
But it was good to get all those sorts of things sorted out, and we're back to the factory in a couple of days. So that's a wrap for our little shakedown.
Trip. Yep.
Gippsland, wasn't it pretty?
Yeah.
Really nice, really green at the moment, lots to see. Really enjoyed Walhalla. It's just really...
Noojee was good.
Lots of, just also beautiful. So hope you've enjoyed following along.
So please like and subscribe.
Thank you. That would be great if you could do that. And otherwise, we'll see you on our next episode.
Yeah.
On the road.
On the road.
Bye.
See ya.